Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining me today. As you can see, I have decided that I'd better get cracking on my last signature in my Halloween journal. So I took two pieces of 9 by 12 mixed media paper, and they, because of their heft, are going to be the bones or the skeleton, no pun intended, of the signature. The front cover, I have in my mind to do what? Oh yes, I have in my mind that I want to have something showing through the window. And I cut that out, of course. And where is it? Where are you? I'm going to use this as the inside of this page. So I will have white coming through. It says in the fine print. There we go. There we go. In just a little bit. Why don't I mark it while I'm doing it? And then I'll show you what I have in mind. And of course, this came to mind while I was lying in bed contemplating the day. So, and right here should do it. Okay, so this is going to be here. Yes, it is. And then I picked and tugged around in my papers, because I don't have too many. This then is going to be here. That will be there. And then on top of that, I think I'm going to collage some of these napkins, which I just love to death, and I've had them and not used them, and stop hoarding Carol. So, not that you would understand that. I know. I know. So I thought that would be there. Not too much of that background paper is going to be showing. Maybe I'll have a rethink, because I really like this piece of paper. I really like this piece of paper. So, let's have a rethink. Well, that might serve the purpose. That might serve the purpose. Okay. And then I can put a piece of this side paper across up there to cover that orange. Okay, and I can still have this piece of pretty going down that road. So, okay, before we begin here, well, actually, I don't even have to think about that too much. That's the only bit that's going to show. Okay. Then, on top of that is going to go, that sticks to everything, is going to go a piece of this vellum, and on that vellum is going to be something, something, so that when this page opens, I can do something entirely different on the back of it. Yes, and right now I'm going to think about what I'm going to do here. And I think that I kind of know where I'm going to be going with that. So let's set these aside. And right now, waxed paper. A goodly piece. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. It's Saturday afternoon here in North Florida, in Jacksonville, and it has not, it's gotten a tiny bit cooler, but it hasn't, the weather hasn't broken yet. When I was teaching, I could almost always tell that it was usually between the 8th and the 12th of October that summer just stopped, because there's no in-betweens in Florida. It's either hotter than you know what, or not. So, now I'm thinking I want to start out. Now this will take a little bit of wet if I don't overdo. So, I'm going to, if I brush this on, it might put too much wet on there, more than I want. So let's see if I get something that I like using my Ceramcoat Rain Gray. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, or is it going to be too much? Let's give it a try. First of all, this is totally ridiculous, Carol. Over here. Over here. And here. Now, all right, a workspace. I want the gray to go on the fold a little bit right there. So let's see what happens. Okay. And I want it to be a little bit mottled, don't I? Yes. Well, that's a lot less wet. Very good. Here and right here. Oh, I'm very happy that I didn't use the brush. Along the edges. And we're going to declare that step 1 done. Now let's have something on here. Give it a little bit of a touch of drying first. Remember that if you really want something to dry, you dry both pages. I'm sorry, both sides. Good. Now, I'm thinking first, if it shows a little hickory smoke, followed by black soot. Now, stencils. Don't have any Halloween-y ones and really wouldn't want them. So, I'm declaring that Halloween-y. Let's see what we can do, and I'm going to put this on in a very helter-skelter way. I'm not sure it's going to show, but let's see what happens. Oh, it does. And this smoke has a little bit of a suggestion of green in it. So there's the start. And up here. Okay, down this side. This is better than I saw it in my mind's eye. Show it to you. Pull over light. Here we go. Now, the same thing with a bit of, and I don't think this would have made me as happy as if I had used this, so let's see now. Let's see now what we were able to achieve. Putting just a touch of the black on top. Oh, happy am I. These makeup brushes have to be as good as indoor plumbing. That's a little ridiculous, Carol. Let's have a little something in there. Better. And over here. Just a little bit down here. Loving it now. clean the brush. That suits me. Yes, it does. Now, the next step. And that's no problem because that will be covered. Yes, it will. Now, what? Let me cut that piece of gingham. That piece of gingham paper. There it is. There it is. I'm going to cut this. I'll be right back. Well, here I am experimenting with the magic water trick on napkins. I've seen it work beautifully. And this came in something that I had. Well, let's see what happens now. Well, actually. It gets to business very nicely without having that harsh cut line. And I didn't like that background when I had it, so we're rethinking. Okay, now this is the paper that's going to be there. Yes. Okay, that's the paper that's going to be there. So I'm going to attach that back of that paper to the back of this. I don't need that right now. What I need is to make myself tickled by this. As a start. I'm thinking yes. Now, but what else? Something. Has to be flat because I refuse to give up on that. Because I'm going to do some stamping on this vellum. Let's not get ahead of myself. This needs something. This vellum, which came in a commercial book, is much heavier than this one, and it didn't work. It was didn't show enough light. What do I want there? 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 Do I want this? In what way? Do we want just cut bits, torn bits? Not cut, because of the straight line there. And I'm thinking I'm going to cut off this outside frame. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Here's some touches of this black. That's better. That's better. One more little bit up there. One more bit up here. Well, that works as a start. I think I'm going to get these down and then have a think. But before that, these need to be edged. Then I'm going to cut up to the black frame on this, and I'm going to use my glue stick to attach these three pieces of black shiny paper and the two pieces of napkin. And I'll be back because I'm sure you don't need to see that. That would be like watching water drip. Well, this is glued down, and I have had my first, second, or third, I don't know which, good experience with a rub-on. But I didn't use the little piece of wood. I went after it with the tip of my scissors, and these two actually worked. It's, I guess it didn't realize who it was that it was dealing with. So, this is ready now to provide the front of this cover of this signature. And before I can glue this down and put a book on it, I have to work on the piece of vellum that I am determined to have there, and I've decided to use the jumbo of the ones that I'm my favorite design. And I'm just going to use, where is it? A little bit of the lighter one, the hickory smoke. I don't want it to be too heavy, and I don't want it to be all over. Ah, fingers crossed. Yes, there it is. There it is. Here and there. Let's see what we have. Well, that's a little bit a little too perfect. Let's okay. I thought I was doing it on the wax paper. That would not have been nice. That would not have been nice. don't want to do any more than that. Don't want to do any more than that. And let's see now what happens. Yes, it's there. It's there, and it's not too crazy. Oh, I'm loving that. Loving, loving, loving it. I did not want this to be awfully outspoken, and it isn't. So, gluing time. I'm going to glue this to the front of this at the edges, and then this paper to here and around here, and I'm going to put a book on it, and when it's dry I'll be back and we'll have a final thing. Well, while I was cleaning up, I found this in my stash, and it just called to me to bring out the orange in the background here. And as I was laying this down, I was looking at this and realized that I needed more black soot around the edges. Oh, Halloween is fun. It's unique. It doesn't last forever, so you just have to kind of plunge in. And that is certainly what I did today. The back side of that cover is as I thought it would be. And layers upon layers upon layers, including using napkins and rub-on, and it's all under the vellum, and the vellum itself has the very light stenciling on it. I love the way the frame on that came out. I just did not expect it to look like that, and I'm very, very tickled that it did. If you have enjoyed sharing this with me today, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I would appreciate your subscribing to my channel. More Halloween coming soon. Bye now.